Have you sold your entire stake of PetroChina?
Yeah, we've sold it, but we sold it based on price. It had nothing to, I mean, I think at the time of the annual meeting it was around, in terms of the American stock, it was around 110, and I think it's more than doubled since then. Unfortunately, I sold a little too soon, but it was 100% a decision based on valuation. When we bought PetroChina, the whole company was selling for $35 billion, if you take the number of shares and multiply by the price. When we sold it, it was at varying prices, but it was at about 8 times that price, wow. about 275. No, I'm sorry. It was more. The original price was 20 in terms of U.S. We sold it from 160 to 200 or something like that.
A nice tidy profit.
Yeah, we made about $3.5 billion on a $500 million investment, as it turned out. I still sold it way too soon. Since I sold it, they must have shot a gun off and said, Warren's sold, now it's time to let it go up.
Well, yeah, you left money on the table.
A lot of money.
Dummy.
That's exactly right.
Charlie Munger would say, right?
Charlie would say, you've done it again.
But you can't keep always trying. For the average person who's maybe never bought a stock before, what's your advice about that? You can't constantly sit there and wait and say, oh, it's going to go higher, it's going to go higher.
We don't even think about that. What we think about is how much is it selling for, how much do we think it's worth. When we bought it at $35 billion effectively, I felt the company was probably worth at least $100 billion.
How did it come to your attention? How do you find a stock like PetroChina?
I sit there in my office and I read an annual report, which fortunately was in English, and it described a very good company, and told about the oil reserves, told about the refining, told about the chemicals, everything else. And I sat there and read it, and I thought to myself, this company is worth about $100 billion. Now, I didn't look at the price first. I look at the business first and try and figure out what it's worth, because if I look at the price first, I'll get influenced by that. So I look at the company first. I try to value it, and then I look at the price, and if the price is way less than what I've just valued it at, I'm going to buy it.
And how do you value it?
Well, that's the trick. Yeah. But it's essentially what I would pay for the whole business if I could buy it. And when we sold the stock, it was valued, we'll say, at probably 250 to 275 billion. And we thought that was a fair price. Now, oil had gone up from $30 a barrel to $75 a barrel. Now it's up even further. But today, yesterday anyway, I believe PetroChina is the second most highly valued company in the world. Higher than GE, next to Exxon.
ExxonMobil.
Next to Exxon.
Have you sold the entire stake?
Yeah, I have. I wish I hadn't, but I have.
As of when?
Well, we sold it over a period of time.
Sold it over a period of time.
If it went down a lot, we'd buy it back.